Hey guys, it's me again, Workslayer with this. Where we last left off, let's see, checking. Like I told you guys, I'm going to start doing multiple series at once, try and cut off more series, get those done. So, where I last left off with, what if Deku was a lamenter? Yes, this is being done. Where I last left off. Deku and his sister had both come out of their rage-induced states, both hearing whispers and words from a different god, let's say, or different voices. Same thing with Hizashi. He heard different voices as well. As they got everything underway at UA, like Deku and Izumi were able to come along and explain what had happened at the USJ and that they would be receiving more training, such as in using las weapons and the like. Since they want them to be absolutely safe, they wouldn't feel comfortable with just abandoning them. So, what they did is that... Sorry. Again, sorry. What they did that is... They got Nezu on board after they explained the whole situation to him, that they aren't from their universe or time, depending on how you look at it, and that they would protect the Earth as long as they could, and humanity. As Nezu agreed with this, and asked about the whole, got more details about that. So that's how it is. And this is going to be a long episode. It should be around 45 minutes long, since that's how long I've recorded the gameplay for. Yep. I really wish I did not play games for as long as I did. Anyways, I digress. What essentially is going to happen is we're at the sports festival now. I speeded it up a little bit along the way, but how I left it off is that the chapter or company of either the Blood Angels or the successor chapters to the Blood Angels had managed to get their hands on one of Deku's feathers from give me a second. I believe I called him Fulcrum. He was the Chaos Sorcerer. Yeah, it was Fulcrum. Or something along those lines. If you guys remember the name, please tell me. Anyways, Fulcrum, since he was, his whole thing was boarded by said Blood Angels. Let's just go with the Blood Angels. They took it and ran away. He used his powers to teleport him to the My Hero universe, or world. So I'm going to continue on with the story. As they're all getting ready, as they hear the events are coming up, Deku and all of them are... Deku's like excited as he stands way taller than everybody else. He's a giant compared to everybody, except maybe All Might, but even then he's taller and bigger than All Might. So he stands there ready. He's just like, this will be a great day. As Izumi actually wants to talk with Deku a little bit, so she pulls him over, trying to speak with him more. Tonight's drink, chalky milk. Delicious. Anyways, I digress. As Deku and Izumi converse a bit, we get to the crowd, and we actually get to Shigaraki, not Shizaki. Shigaraki, who's watching from the thing, as he sees Deku's like, damn it, it looks like he went back to normal. As Fulcrum walks in and is actually looking at the thing, he's like, seems the boy was able to overcome the Black Rage. Quite impressive. So did his sister. Remember, Shigaraki, do not hope to ever fight an even weaker version of a Space Marine who has been afflicted with the Black Rage. For if they ever come to contact with you, you will die. He's like, I'm pretty sure I can take on one stupid Marine, even with the Black Rage. He's like, no. That kid right there eviscerated a demon. Demons, Space Marines, these court people, as you call them. Even I would be obliterated by him. even without it. He's like, you were obliterated by Master anyway. He's like, your master has some power, yes, but in the face of him, he is nothing. It's like, what about All Might then, It's like, your symbol of peace will put up a good fight, but I have no doubt a black rage angel like him would bisect him in seconds. As Shigaraki dwells on this thought that this guy was able to kill the demon horde that was summoned, the Chaos Space Marines who were empowered by a Chaos God. Shigaraki asks this, he's like, we'll need more power to kill him then. He's like, yes, you will. Been speaking with your master more recently. And I'm not using the voice filter at the moment, so sorry about that. It will just take a bit more time. Plus, I'm just like using this as like they're not wearing their helmets at the moment, so won't really have a need for it. And he's like, and remember also, Shigaraki is also a space marine. Has the augmentations and everything. So, following that, excuse me, he's like, your master has some recent additions to the arsenal that we may place yet. One of them I'm very much enjoying about. He's like, what then? He's like, creature he calls Gigantomachia or something. Creature is massive, bigger than any, not the biggest thing I've ever witnessed in my life, but I have no doubt it'll crush greater demons with ease. And if he so happens to allow me to go through with my plan, we may yet empower it more. It's like, what do you mean? She's like, I told you, Shigaraki. The Chaos Gods, the Dark Gods will hear us. They will find this world. When the time comes, they will claim it. As Shigaraki's like, It's like, and of course your master, or sensei, or whichever word you wish to use for him, will be allowed to rule it in their stead. As Fulcrum just snickers to himself, thinking he's like, the fool has no idea. He will rule this world, but only over my dead body. As Shigaraki's like, I don't trust this guy, but Master says I can't kill him yet. So as he's like scratching at his neck, he's like, stop that, zombie coming. It's like, as he keeps his hands like at his side, he's like, good. It's like the boy shows promise. He may yet prove a useful apprentice or sacrifice. As they get back to watching the sports event, Deku and Izumi had finished their talks, as they had just like as Izumi was worried that she may lose control of herself because of the Black Rage. But Deku says that the only reason why we lost to it was because of what happened with Father. But Izumi, we are stronger than that. The Lamenters are well known for their ability to not even fall to it. It took a Colossus event for us to fall. Even for a period of time, we were able to recover. You will recover again if you fall to it, sister. Alright? As he puts a hand on her shoulder, she's like, yeah, Deku, yeah. You're right. As Deku's like, good. As he like stands up taller, he's like, now. As he cracks his neck, he's like, flaps his wing a bit, and he's like, let's see how long it takes for us to win this race, shall we? As she just laughs, she's like, yes, brother, let's see. As they're waiting, as then it's immediately, go! Todoroki does the freezing of the wall, but Deku and Izumi are pretty much, Izumi jumps from wall to wall while Deku just flies. As it's like, and it looks like the race is off, folks. The people are running all around seeing what we got. Let's see. Whew. Sorry. It's like, it looks like it's Izuku Midoriya in first place, flying high above his competition. Looks like nobody's going to be able to hit him. And it looks like 1A is catching up after Todoroki. And Todoroki's hot on the heels of Izumi. She appears to be using her fire to keep Todoroki's eyes from capturing her. Smart move. As they go over Deku's quirk, as they call him Archangel, let's say that, as they decide to come up with a name with his quirk called Archangel. I don't know if I gave it a name before, because I don't think they ever explained it, but they call him Archangel. The perfect, as they spoke about him, bit of his exploits in the USJ, they called him a perfect killing machine. And with his wings, they called him, well, it was obvious why they called him Archangels. The Archangels were the most powerful servants of God's servants. The greatest of the Archangels being, not Gabriel, Michael. As they go to speak about him more, they even talk about Izumi, how she used her great, she used her great elemental powers, or psychic powers, to decimate the enemies that try to come at them. The two of them played a major role in helping defeating the villains that appeared at the USJ. Tired. Anyways, sorry for that. Deku goes on to launch forward far ahead of anyone else. As they continue with this, Deku sees some of the robots as he just smashes them with his bare hands. Sorry. Why do I get snot every now and then for just no reason? Ugh. Excuse me. Anyway, sorry about that. As it shows him just punching through the robots, as he even towers over a couple of them, as the robots for a second look like they shrink back in fear, as the tech priests who are watching is like, "No! Machines of the Omnissiah!" As one of the machines is having a frickin' rave, or a frickin' rant about Deku destroying such precious machines. As they talk about, it's aren't AI outlawed by the mechanics? Is they're not AI. They don't think, they are robots. As they scream out in rage, is the Omnissiah will have its revenge. As that's a low tier tech priest, and the others are just what is wrong with him? His processor must have been snapped. As they go over and just detain him, it's you will have your memory wiped. Everything will be fine. As he's the Omnissiah demands revenge! As he's being dragged off to have his mind wiped. Very grim. As then the Marines who are on the Lamenter's half ship are watching this as they're this is quite the event. It seems it allows them to have some form of training and bonding and competition, while also sparking interest in a new generation of these heroes, as they call them. This would be quite interesting to employ into our own system, don't you think, brother? It's if we get back to our universe, yes. But until then, he fixes something. He says, until then, let us continue with what we got. As a Marine actually comes up with the idea, he's hey, brothers, as even the captain's there, it's excuse me, Captain? He's what is it? He's depending on how long it take us to get out of here, if we ever reach a maximum number of 1,000 Space Marines, and we were able to make another 100 or so, or let's say half a chapter, would we? It's what do you mean? He's well, think about it. If we're allowed to stay here for a long, long time, and we were able to get this world, or even solar system, to advance to Imperial levels, maybe even a bit higher, would we make more Space Marine chapters? As the captain, before he answers this, actually ponders on the question for a bit. What would they do when they reach, say they stay here for a few hundred years and are able to rebuild their numbers completely? Maybe in the first time in Lamenter's history have a full standing chapter. What if they're able to exceed that number and make 150 or 1,500? What would happen then? As he thinks about it, he's like, if that would be the case, I would hand the reins over to... I would give control of the news said chapter to Midoriya. He's like, wait, Izuku? As a few of them are questioning this and the wisdom in this, he says, only if, and that's a very big if, that ever happens. The chances of that happening are so low that I can't even begin to talk to you about statistics. But yes, we were able to, we would do it. And plus, maybe if we're lucky, we'll end up more like Hisashi. He's like, what do you mean, sir? He's like, having children of your own. Have none of you ever thought about it? As since some of them are still indoctrinated heavily into the Imperial ideas, and the same thing with the Space Marines, it's gonna take them a long while before they break it. Or even suppress it a bit. As the captain of the company rubs his temple, he's like... He's like rubbing his head, he's like, maybe we can follow your footsteps, Hisashi, and bear children of our own. As he just rubs his head and just walks away from the deck, he says that, speak with me, Neveron. As Neveron is behind him, following him, it's like, well, it seems that Hisashi's stabilized quite a while ago, and that he appears to be gaining some consciousness back. He will not be removed from the tube, though. We will either have to find cybernetics to replace the missing parts, or, as he thinks about Agron, and turn him into a dreadnought. He's like, do we even have those? He's like, we have one left. He's like, one? It's like, yes. Though we had to use some of its armor for... And I got him... I know some of you are probably going to hate me for this, and I think I went over it again. I found the actual chart that was used for the height of Space Marines and such. 7 or 8 feet was for a Space Marine. Not 8, well, 7 feet was for, like, close to 8 feet was a Space Marine. 8 feet was for Primaris. 9 feet was for Custodian. And 10 foot was for Primarch, which was Rogodorn, which was the mid-level. 12 foot was Vulcan, and 14 foot was the Emperor of Mankind. So I guess that's how height was proportionalized. So I'm gonna say that he, instead of like another Space Marine out there, I think his name was Tiberius the Red Wake. He had to have Dreadnought armor instead of Terminator plate. He had to put Dreadnought armor on his normal power armor plate. So that's how tall I'm going to say he is. As he... sorry. Yeah. As, I'm going to continue on. As Deku is making his way through the obstacle course, he's just flying. As he sees a 0-pointer, he's like, I remember that from the event. Quite a hassle it was. As he dodges away from them and the flying hands, he's like, I have a feeling something's gonna happen today. I don't know when, but it will happen soon. As he flies through the air, he dodges and bobs and weaves away from the enemies as he dives through a hole as one was trying to close around him. He makes it to the he dives through and makes it all the way to the drop point, like the cavern. Why does my brain fucking fart on me? Sorry. The not trench, the ravine. God, why do I have my brain go dead at the moment? The ravine. He finds, as he's like, this will be difficult for some of my classmates. I have no doubt Izumi will make it past this, though. He flies over it. And then he makes it to the finish line. I was like, and that's it, folks. It seems that Midoriya made it to the finish line, or Izuku Midoriya made it to the finish line first. Let's check out how everyone else is doing. As Deku's like, wait, they weren't right behind me? As he looks back at the screen, he's like, they're still stuck by the robots. As Izumi's jumping and sends a blast of the Earth heading towards one of the 0-pointers, as it smashes it, the rock smashes into its knee, as it buckles and starts falling forward. As everyone's like, oh god, the rock's falling! As Izumi doesn't want anyone to get crushed, so she uses the ground to launch spikes up to keep the robot in place. As she makes it pass, as she's like neck to neck, or not neck to neck with Shoto, she's actually ahead of Shoto, since Eldars are physically superior to humans, normal humans, even those who have trained, I believe. So combo that with her Space Marine genetics as well, I'm gonna say she's pretty damn fast. Though, of course, hers aren't as good as Midoriya's. As she rushes through and catches up to him after eventually a long while, she's like, that was a sprint. As Deku's like, you all seem tired. As he fakes a yawn, as there's more people showing up behind her, she's like, after like a couple of more minutes, they're like, what's wrong with you two? As they're like, damn. Whew. It's like, those robots of mine were a pain in the ass. Baku's like, damn, Deku. Or Izuku. As Mo was like in last with Minette on her back still. As they're all like, As Fulcrum, we cut over to Shigaraki and Fulcrum. Fulcrum's looking how Izumi's using her power. He's like, I never thought to use my abilities that way. As he sees if he can pull the ground up, as he's like, it appears I can. Maybe I should start exploring more of my powers instead of just the most destructive lightning blast. And he's like, Master, do you think it would be able to tempt some of the people in 1A or in UA with the powers of the Dark Gods? As he thinks about it, he's like, there may be a few worth to have a spy. But this is all trivial at the moment. We cannot focus on ifs and ifs. We cannot focus on ifs. We must focus on what's most attainable at the moment. Sorry, just choked on spit for a second. Just choked on spit. Why? As you're like, we must focus on what we have, which is the presence and the knowledge we will gain from this. As he's like, very well, Master. As I'm gonna say, Gurian. What was the guy's name? The guy with the freaking. Give me a second. Gurian. That was his name. Oh crap! What was I about to say? I think I was about to have Gurian show up actually earlier with some supporters, as he comes and brings a couple of them. As he comes in, as Hiragiri gets Shigaraki on the phone, telling him that he had gotten news from Gurian that he was interested in maybe scrounging up more prospects for the League of Villains. And of course, Shigaraki agreed, and so did Fulcrum. And I'm trying to think of things to say, but I am so sorry. But I'm kind of running on empty. Didn't want to do a video tonight, but I feel like I need to get you guys something. So here's a little bit of sneak peek, I guess, of what's going to be continuing on since